Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. This is your basketball edition. I'm joined again today by Coach Will Witherspoon. I'm your host, Bryan Spencer. Coach Witherspoon is the head men's basketball coach at Walnut Grove High School. I'm the head men's basketball coach at Carver College. And last week we went over our predictions for the Western Conference Finals, and we both selected the Clippers and the Lakers to represent the Western Conference Finals, and we both selected the Clippers to come out on top. So I'm interested to see, Coach, who you got coming out of the East. I think the East is a little more interesting. I don't think it's quite as easy to pick the East as it is the West. So your top two teams in the East, Coach, who you looking at?
All right. I think you can't talk about the East without mentioning Milwaukee. I think they have the best player in Giannis. I think one of the key elements that you have to think about when you're talking about playoff basketball is the role players, and because of that, I really like Milwaukee's ability to shoot the ball. I worry about Middleton, specifically when you look at last year. They really needed him. They needed his scoring last year in the playoffs, and I think because he was forced to guard some of the better perimeter players, it took away from his offense. So I am concerned, if he'll be offensively capable come the playoffs. But they do have the best player in Giannis, and they have really good surrounding pieces around him. Plus, they're one of the best coach teams in the East. So, I really like them. And, I was torn between Boston and Toronto.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the nod to Toronto. I think that once you've been there and you have that championship experience, I think they all yearn for it again. I think they've been hearing the chirping from the media and other people that, the reason that they did it was because of Kawhi. So I think, your Kyle Lowrys and your Serge Ibaka's and those guys are, going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, something to prove that they were key components to that championship run. So I really, really like them as my other top team in the West in the East, with Boston not too far behind. I was torn. I really like Boston. I think that, I'm gonna give the edge to Toronto now just because of their experience.
Right. Well, listen, man. Last week we both had the Lakers and the Clippers, and I thought, but I thought you was going to go with the Lakers. So we had something to debate. So today I decided I'm gonna go off the cuff a little bit. I'm gonna make sure we have something to talk about.
All right.
I think Milwaukee's a given. I think that's a given. Like you said, they got the best player in the league. They're very well coached. I think the East is when you look at the East, the top four teams are the best defensive teams also in the East. So I think that's going to bode for a good series, especially in the second round of the playoffs. I like Milwaukee, of course. Like I said, best player in the league, very well coached. And I'm going to throw a little wrench in the game, man. My number two team, man, I'm going to go with Philly, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Philly in there, man. They play Boston the first round. If it remains as it is now,
Right.
6 seed and 3.
Okay.
They'll match up with Boston. But I think Boston is a little bit more athletic, than Philly. But I like Philly's size. I like their size. They're versatile. And, most other teams that are going to be contending, I think they're mostly perimeter-oriented teams. And I think the one thing that Philly can provide, if they decide to do it, is Embiid can dominate inside, man. You know, he really doesn't dominate like I think he can. But I think if they make a concerted effort to uh, establish his presence on the inside and play inside out, I think Embiid has to get like 15 free throws a game. I think now he's averaging about seven or eight or something like that. But I think he's got to crank that up, man. He's got to get that to about 15 a game. Slow the game down a little bit. I like Ben Simmons. You're talking about what 17, 8, and 7, his numbers or something like that. Of course, Tobias Harris. I mean, they pose the Richardson kid. I like them, man. The versatility that they have. And so I'm gonna throw a wrench in the game. I think that they're gonna squeeze past Boston that first round, and I don't know how in the world they're gonna beat Toronto. But I'm gonna say the same thing, man. I'm gonna go with Philly, because I like Brett Brown as a coach too now. And I think if they can design some schemes where they can isolate Embiid, because everything they do now is pick and pop, and all that, with Embiid. Man, I'd like to see them create some action, some mismatches with maybe some shooters coming off screens in the lane and trying to create some mismatches for Embiid in the lane and freeing up them shooters, coming off of pin downs, cross screens, stuff like that in the lane. So, that's my number 2, man. I'm gonna go with Milwaukee, of course, and then Philly's gonna be my sleeper sneaking out. 2 big upsets, I would say, over Boston and Toronto. So now, Coach, you got Milwaukee and you have Toronto. So who you got going to go face the Clippers?
Whew. All right. So I've been back and forth about what I really like about that matchup. I believe just based on if you look at the development of Giannis's game, once they got into the playoffs, teams like to pack it in on him, and
Right.
they were forcing him to hit that outside jumper. I
Right.
think that Toronto has multiple guys who can defend Giannis, and Siakam, and Ibaka. They got multiple guys with length that they can throw at him. And I think because Toronto doesn't have one person that you necessarily need to key on, it can be different people every night, whether it's, it could be Gasol brother, it could be Ibaka, it could be Siakam, it could be Lowry. They've got so many different guys that can do it, and it's never the same guy every night.
Right.
I'm going to give them the slight nod, over Milwaukee, just because I think that the formula to beat Milwaukee is already kind of out there, and,
Right.
and while Giannis has improved and he's gotten a lot stronger, I don't trust the consistency on his jumper enough
Right.
for that formula to change, and I think that championship pedigree will show itself in the bubble. They just, they've been focused. There aren't a lot of distractions, and I'm going to give Toronto the nod. I'm gonna say Toronto in 6.
Okay, Toronto is 6. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, those are some good points, man. If as you guys can see, Coach Witherspoon's on top of it. He knows the game. Gives some good points. If you like this video, please like the video, like the page, share the video, and leave your comments. We will get back to your comments as well later on. Coach, great points with Toronto, man. I like that. And basketball is like boxing. I think boxing styles make fights. I think the same thing here. So the reason that I gave Philly an edge with Boston and Toronto is the Embiid factor. But going up against Milwaukee, they don't have that. You got both the Lopez brothers. If they pick and pop with Embiid, I'm happy. I'm gonna live with the result. That's just how I feel about it. But if they use him on the inside, I don't think he has the advantage on the inside against the Lopez twins like he does on the other teams. So I think, like you said, Giannis, best player in the league. Middleton, proven he can score. And they have some solid pieces, and a lot of people don't like Bledsoe, but Bledsoe's solid. He's not great, but he's solid. And then of course you got George Hill as well, who's proven since San Antonio, and he's proven himself to be a solid role player as well. I just don't think they have Philadelphia has what it takes to beat Milwaukee. I don't know who they're gonna put on Embiid. On Giannis to slow him down. You know what I mean? Like he really gets that thing off the rim, man. It's a problem for Philly, I believe. Here's what I want to ask you, Coach. I want to ask you this.
All right.
If you're coaching Philly, I know you picked Toronto, right? If you're coaching Philly and you're going up against Giannis, who are you going to put on him? And and who else are you going to take away? Are you going to just play off of Giannis and take away everybody else? Or are you going to play off of Giannis and then just key on Middleton? Or what would you do?
I think, I think what makes Milwaukee so good is their ability to space the floor with capable shooters around Giannis. Mm-hmm. Both the Lopez twins being able to shoot, Bledsoe, Middleton, guys like that, spacing the floor. So what I would do, you have a capable, versatile defender in Ben Simmons. I think Ben would be the person that I would put on Giannis.
Okay.
And, I would tell Giannis to have at it. And
right.
I would stay home on those shooters and not let those other guys get going and get comfortable. And, I think Giannis is very capable, of beating you. But I really like Ben Simmons' ability to defend.
Now, if you do that, Coach, if you put Simmons on Giannis, Simmons is one of your main creators
right.
for your offense.
Right.
Is that going to affect his ability to create on the offensive end of the floor for other people in terms of energy?
It will. However, if we're going with your strategy of, allowing Embiid if we're running our offense through Embiid in the post, then you're slowing the game down and you're not necessarily dependent on, his ability to create, at the same rate that you would if you were playing your normal style. So, I like your strategy and slowing it down and running things through Embiid. I personally believe Embiid is one of the toughest people to stop, especially on the low block. And I don't care how much length, Milwaukee has. I believe if he asserts himself down on that low block, that they don't have anyone that can check him. And, that would be the game plan until they did something to make me change mine. But that would be my initial game plan kind of going into it. I would put Simmons on him and leave him on an island. And, when you look at Simmons, he is proven to be one of the more versatile defenders in the league. And,
right.
When the awards come out, he'll be a first team defensive player. So I think he's capable. He's got really good length, and Giannis is going to have to hit some outside shots. I mean, he is. I'm a lay off of him. Simmons is strong enough to not just get bullied to the hole, but
right.
He's going to have to hit some jump shots before I come out there and honor that. And even then, I think it's a pick your poison kind of thing, and it was
right.
similar to what you were saying with the pick and pop game with Embiid. If Embiid is shooting jumpers, I mean, you'll live with that. So
it is. Right.
If Giannis if Giannis is hitting that outside shot, you're gonna have a long day anyway. So
Right. That's right.
you know, I would live with him hitting that perimeter jumper, but I think Simmons is capable of guarding him, you know, for a playoff series.
Right. Okay. Love it. I love it. I love it. Again, if you like this video, please like the page, share the page, comment on the video as well. This is 100 Yards of Football, your basketball segment, joined by Coach Will Witherspoon, head coach at Walnut Grove High School. So now, Coach, you got the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Toronto, and Toronto. So who's going to be crowned the 2020 NBA champions of this kind of unique pandemic season?
All right. So, you know, I've never wavered since the season started. You know, from my pick, and they
Right.
they haven't given me any reason not to believe in them from the very beginning. You know, I love the combination of Kawhi and Paul George. I love their length. You know, I love their versatility. They got, you know, the Morris twin. You know, they've got 2 18 per game scores off the bench in Lou Will and you know, Harrell. They've got you know, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They're one of the best coach teams in the league. I think that while I like Toronto's ability to make it there, I think that, you know, especially in the playoffs, stars kind of you know, they're what take you there. They're what get you there. You know, in the NBA, and you know, Kawhi has proven that he can do it, and he did it for you guys, and he's gonna do it to you this year. Did it for you. Now he's gonna do it to you, and you know, help a healthy Paul George, and you know, I think that they're gonna be too much for Toronto. You know, I'm gonna say Clippers in 6. But I not diminishing anything that Toronto has done. I don't think they'll have enough offensive firepower, and you know, defensively, the Clippers are going to be locked in. It's going to be really, really difficult, you know, to score on those guys, and they've got so many, you know, not just great individual defenders, but you know, collectively, they're really good too. But you know, to be able to have 3 guys that you can put on an island and no help, you know, you can stay home, and I just not many teams have that, and I think because of that, I'm going to give them the nod. So I'm going to say Clippers in 6 over Toronto.
So Doc Rivers gets him another one. Okay, I like it. Well, listen, you had Toronto and the Clippers. I had the Clippers and Milwaukee, and for me, it's not a lot of thought at all. For a lot of the same reasons that you said, the Clippers, man, they just like you said, 2 18-point scores coming off the bench, proven scores in Kawhi and Paul George. The defensive versatility. You said versatility, but I like the defensive versatility, man. That, like you said, put different guys on an island, but then you can switch everything too if you want to. I mean, they can do so many different things. And then when you look at their coaching staff, the ability to take advantage of that versatility. When you have all those different minds that they have on that coaching staff, I just think that whereas, you know, Milwaukee's talented, you have a great player in Giannis. You know, they have some pieces. It's going to be hard for them to score on that team with the versatility that they have on defense, and then it's going to be hard for them to stop them from scoring as well. I just think that the Clippers are too much for Milwaukee, and I'm gonna say the Clippers in 5. You know, I think Giannis is good for 1. I want to say that he's good for 2, but I really think the Clippers are head and shoulders above Milwaukee in this matchup, especially on that stage. In a game during the season, that's one thing, but in a playoff series where you got to meet the same people every single night, I think the versatility that the Clippers have is just way too much for Milwaukee to stand with. So I got Doc Rivers getting him another one as well, but I got him doing it in 5. So listen, once again, if you like this video, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Coach, your last thoughts on, give us your last thoughts real quick, just on the uniqueness of the season and the bubble action that they have going on, the guys being isolated. Just give you your quick thoughts of kind of sum up the uniqueness of the season and how it's going to affect this playoff run.
Well, I think we're in unprecedented times, and because of that, you've had to do things that you're not accustomed to doing. So the bubble aspect is something that we had been hearing about, but kudos to the NBA for actually being able to execute it. I think they've done a phenomenal job keeping everybody healthy. I love that they've continued to advocate for social injustice
Right.
while they've been there. I think a lot of these guys, it's like a glorified AAU tournament, where you
Yeah.
go and you go to a facility that has multiple gyms, and
Right.
you're there until a champion is crowned. So
Right.
I remember those days when I was younger, going on a Friday and staying until late Sunday if we're in the championship. So
Right.
These guys they've done that before. They're used to it, and they're professionals for a reason. So I think that the product that they're going to put on the floor is going to be a professional one. I think it's a luxury to have professional sports back. I think it gives us hope that we can we can still salvage our own seasons, and if we continue to do things where we're trying to be safe, it can be done. And I'm thankful to those guys for putting their own families kind of not aside, but I mean a lot of them don't have their families there. They have their families to to go to work, and I respect that, and I'm thankful for that. And I look forward to a productive and a safe playoff season down in Orlando with the bubble. I'll definitely be tuned in.
Right. Appreciate that, Coach. And yeah, my final thoughts, man. It's a unique situation, man. Nothing like this ever before. We've had strikes and things like that, but nothing on this level in terms of the seriousness of people's safety and stuff like that. So kudos to the NBA, man. The NBA has always been like one of the leaders in how they do stuff, how they go about things, man. They really always seem to find the best way to do things, the best way to handle things for the fan. The NBA experience is one of the best experiences there is out there. So I kudos to them for that, for Adam Silver and how they've handled everything. And like you said, I know some of them guys are loving that, man. Being away from your family, those that are away from their families don't like that aspect of it. But you see some of the creativity with guys are taking children's books and different things with them so they can FaceTime their kids and do all that stuff and read to them on FaceTime. So it just shows what we can do when put under pressure situations. And that's what I love about sports, man. Sports is not life, but it's a reflection of life, and it can help you in life, the lessons that you can learn from it. So I appreciate having the game back. Man, I've been back in the gym myself, so I'm excited about what's to come in this shortened season. So, like, we get right into the meat of it. For me, I don't have to go through 82 games, man. We can just get right at it and see the best play the best. So I'm loving that, man. I'm appreciative of having it back. So, Coach, appreciate you once again, man. Great job. Thank you all for watching this segment of 100 Yards of Football, the basketball segment. We'll be back again next week with another great topic. And once again, if you like the video, please like the video, share it, and comment on it. And until next week, remember, life is not important except in the impact it has on other people's lives. So go out and impact somebody's life in a positive way.